Hello you beautiful people and welcome to today's video. Today I would like to just casually sit and draw with you guys. So grab a beverage of your choice and maybe draw along with me. I have to share a discovery that a lot of people probably have made before me, and I'm the last one, but I discovered that there's oat milk with cocoa powder in it, and it does not have that many more calories than normal milk, and it's the most delicious thing ever, and I'm putting it in my coffee and it's so delicious. That was hot. Ooh. Okay, so I asked you guys on Instagram, I'm trying to putting my keyboard away. I asked you guys on Instagram what kind of things you would like to learn, or things you would like me to explain to you that maybe I could share some art tips on. And even though I do not consider myself an expert or a teacher, but I've learned a thing or two, and I would like to share those things with you while casually just drawing. And one question I get recurringly, is that a word? I don't know, is how I make my watercolor coloration. For example, those in my sketchbooks. And what I usually do is I leave a little white border and just use the watercolor as a shading, and I'm gonna show you how I do that in a little illustration. And first I need to glue this down. If you're using single sheets of watercolor, I would highly recommend sticking those down to your surface, so that's better, so they don't get warped and stuff. And also you can make these nice white borders if you like. So yeah, all right. That's crooked, but please forgive me. This is just regular old washi tape. I'm using this one because I got it from IKEA on sale one day a long time ago, and it does not really stick that well. So yeah, what are we going to draw? I don't know. I think it would be best to draw a character so I can show you how I shade the face and stuff. Let me think for a second. I'm not a fan of this face. Let me start over a bit. Also, I'm using this glove today because I don't want my skin fed on this page, because I just used hand. I used this thing because in winter my hands are like dry as hell. So also, another little advice I can recommend trying out is to draw the shoulder and then to draw the hand, like where the hand is supposed to be, and then draw the arm. Like this is connecting the hand to the shoulders, and in the middle you put this, and there you're gonna have your joint, your elbow. And in 99% of cases this works pretty nicely. So let's see. I think I'm gonna have her holding her scarf or whatever she's wearing like this, and we can make it flowy as well. And I'm going to add some plants to the foreground. Alright, that's a rough sketch. I think I can work with that, but first a sip of coffee. And I think I'm in the mood for some colored outlines today, so I'm gonna use these. These are filled with Indian ink and they are waterproof. And yeah, they're kind of this. Oh, this was I wanted to use the S the S size of these. They just have a nice color to them. Most of the time I tend to make a real rough sketch and then like do the real drawing while I'm outlining. Yeah, that's also helps. Personally, it does not have to be the case for you, but personally it helps me to avoid only tracing and not really putting any weight into my line work, and to make the line work kind of lifeless and stuff. So if I just do a rough sketch, but you have to have some mileage for that. When I was younger and not as when I was younger and not that used to doing that, I would miss lines and stuff. So you have to be you have to have a bit of training to do that, but you can easily learn that. It's not that big of a deal. So I switched to a bit thicker pen so I can distinguish the foreground a bit from the middle ground, which is her. So these plants are in the foreground, she's in the middle ground, and then there's the background. And yeah, this is why I'm doing that, just to add a little bit more interest and a little bit more variety into the line work itself, so that the image does not feel flat later on. I'm gonna add some more leaves of some random plants here. Alright, so now I'm dabbing off gently dabbing off the pencil work underneath the line work, so I can start the coloring process. Alright, I have 2 jars of water here, and one of the jars is for the first washing of the brush. So when I first have the brush full of paint, I will wash it off in this one, and this one is to get fresh water so you don't have a tint of water in your painting. So this is why I use 2 jars of water. I'm gonna sip on my coffee. And when I set up my my filming setup here, I gave my watercolor palette that I want to use for this video a little spritz of water, so the paints can soak a bit, and it's more easy to re-wet them and to and to use them all in all. You can also just use your brush and dip a drop of water in every little half pan or whatever you're using. That's also working. And also another advice I can give you is get one of those cheap plasticky things, or get a cheap plate or whatever, an old plate. You can use whatever you like, really, or the mixing wells. When you have a regular watercolor tin, you can use those. When you want to have even areas, you should mix your paint before you use it. Like, you should mix a certain amount of paint so you can apply a very even coat if you want that effect. And I'm gonna do that for her skin as a tiny amount. Gonna take some paint and just mix a little skin tone for her. So this is just a tiny amount now because I don't need that much for her skin, but yeah, I'm testing it out on a tiny area so I can be sure to have the right tone that I like, and if I would be correcting it, I could just correct this tiny area. And as you can see, I'm leaving the border white. Like, for that you have to know where your light is coming from, and the light source is the sun in this painting, and it's coming from the top, like a bit over here, and this is why the shadows are going to be down here. And what you want to avoid is something that I call pillow, or that people call pillow shading, which is the shading if you would only do these like this. So that makes your image look a bit flat, and so you should know that you're coloring, you're trying to make it look like a 3D object. And for example, the nose here is very simplified. It would be like a little circle, a little ball, and so you make the shadow rounded like this. I can zoom you in a bit so you can see a bit better. No, now you can see better, as well as the cheek. If you feel your own face, you have these things called cheekbones, and they are they are what people call like planes of the face. For example, like you have your face is this landscape with things that are more pronounced than others, and you're shading around those. Like the cheek goes like this, for example, and it doesn't have to be perfect, especially if you're working in a kind of comic style like this. I'm not a master at this. I make a lot of mistakes probably, and yeah. But people were asking me how I do this, so I wanted to show you. And also share my thought process. Like what I'm thinking of when I'm doing this. So let's find a nice color for her cloak. I think I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to put it in this well. Who cares? Cleaning, taking fresh water. And you should always mix a bit more paint than you're gonna need, so you don't run out in the middle of painting. That would be not that great. So the same thing I explained like at why I'm shading the face like I shaded applies of course for the clothes as well. Like you have to know a bit about how folds work and how light and shadow works to use this technique, but practice makes perfect, so you don't have to be perfect right away. You can practice all you like. It's not a sprint. You don't have to win like a race or something. It's just practice, really. And we all start somewhere. And if it does not work out right away, it's fine. You can always try again and do the next piece. Another thing I learned only recently is how much of a frigging difference good paper makes. I did underestimate that for the longest of times, but this is 100% cotton paper, and it makes so much of a difference for your paints. Really, I can only recommend. Like, I recently got. I'm now mixing a darker color so I can do the inside of a book. I just recently got for my birthday a watercolor pad from the Arteza Professional line, and those are really great as well. You don't have to spend a fortune on your watercolor paper, but a bit of money should be invested indeed. Like 100% cotton paper is like so nice. I've been so, oh my god, I've been so surprised like at the differences that this makes. Oh, you can't see. I'm gonna zoom you out. Gonna zoom you out a bit like this. Reposition this. So yeah, it makes a huge difference, like really. I use like cheaper paper to swatch most of the time and to experiment and stuff, but if you want to do a nice painting, you should definitely go with cotton paper, in my honest opinion. And yeah, I don't have too much experience because I just recently started using it. Also, don't be afraid to experiment. Like, you can do some little effects if we like. Can put some splotches of paint in a wet area and just see what it does. Or you could sprinkle salt and see what effect it makes on the particular paint you're using. And yeah, you can just go a bit wild. It's gonna be worth it, I promise. So let's see, what are we going to do next? I think her hair would be a good move because we don't have like wet areas touching each other over here. But what color do I want it? I don't know. I think I'm gonna... Why did I touch this paint? I wanted to use that for her clothes. But it's fine. I think then I'm gonna do her shirt first. I need a bit more water. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Just need to be careful that I don't touch any of the wet areas, otherwise my paint will like whoop into one another, and then that's not the effect I want right now. What you could also do is an underwash of a very light, a different color, but I wanted to show you this particular technique, and I think it works quite nice on white paper as well. Underwashes are basically underpaintings are basically just a technique where you put a very faint layer of paint and then you draw on top of it. Like, it's not even really visible. It's just to give a little bit of a tint to your painting, to your colors. I still don't know what kind of hair color I want to give her. I have so many nice paints in here. I could use all of them. Maybe I'm gonna go for fantasy and I'm just gonna use some pink. But I think I would like to mix it so it's a bit more reddish. Yeah, I think that's a nice, nice color. And as I said, don't get discouraged if a painting does not turn out the way you intended. I have that all the time, like where things don't look as I imagined them, or like, yeah, something like this. But most of the time I just start drawing and see like where the journey takes me. So I can only recommend to not be like super harsh on yourself and just allow yourself to learn and grow and practice. So we're all only human. We just sometimes we need some time to learn things. Can't be an expert at the first try, like most of us cannot. I'm 30 now. I have it has taken me a few years to get to the level which I'm at now, and I'm kind of fine with what I'm doing. The most important thing for me is to have fun while I create art, and yeah. I'm not perfect. Like, a lot of people will consider my art very flawed, but I don't really care because the most important thing for me is to have fun, and I've met so many nice people in the art community online, and I'm very grateful for that. So it's not a competition always, like. Yeah, I think that's pretty nice. I like it. I like it. So I'm not gonna pre-mix her eye color because I just going to take a tiny bit of color and just color them with the very tip of my brush, like this. I think she's pretty. I think that's nice. So, I think I'm going to continue to draw, to color in some of the plants we have around here. So. Oh, maybe the grass behind her. There's cat hair everywhere. Disgusting. Disgusting. I think it looks even a bit nicer on camera than it does in real life, which is great. Like that. So you guys see a nice painting. So, I think I'm gonna start with these because I'm right-handed, so I don't smudge down here, smudge them when I touch them with my glove. As you can see, I'm still thinking of my light source that comes from over here. So everything in this environment is affected by this light source one way or another, and yeah, it's just important to keep in mind that you have one. Oh, I touched the wet area, but it's fine. With plants, it's not that bad. It's okay. It is okay. Did not mix enough paint, so I'm taking some from the pan. Like this. And as you also can see, I'm switching between parts of the painting, as I mentioned, so I don't touch wet areas too often. And I want her gloves to be a bit more dark, so I'm mixing in some blue to this color, so you get a nice brown without adding black. I have black in almost all of my palettes, because I find it very useful as a comic artist, especially because I just can use it to do some black and white stuff. It's just a convenience thing. I know a lot of people say don't use black and white, but who cares? Use whatever you like. The only thing you should consider is that if you add black to mixes, to your color mixes, they will get a bit more dull, and maybe that's the effect you would like to achieve, and that's fine. Like, don't let people, like, my art teachers were very strict on that as well, but there's no like art police who will knock on your door and storm your apartment if you use black in your watercolor palette. Do whatever you like and whatever brings you joy, and don't let anyone tell you what you can have or cannot have in your palette. It's up to you entirely. Just wanted to make that clear. I'm gonna use this brown for her boots. I'm gonna add that to the existing mix, and then color her shoes down here. I thought about them as over knees. I don't know if that's clear or not, but they are now. Yeah, that's nice. And at long last, I'm going to color her shorts, and I'm gonna add some black for that, because I want them to be dark. And also look how much the washing before does. This water is almost entirely clear and does not disturb the colors we're mixing. Yeah, I think I do like that a lot. So for this guy, I'm not quite sure. But I think I'm going to use some of the pale lavender I have here. It's one of my favorite paints of all time. Even though this one is still made with our old binder, which had a lot of honey. It was a bit sticky, but if you have well, paints also at home that are a bit streaky on paper or something, it can help to pre-mix them with water. So just give it a try and see what it does for your paint. Maybe they get more even. It gets more even when you... I'm just adding some clouds because I like clouds. I like... Oh, I just went directly under my tape, but it's okay. It's fine. I just really like blue skies with like these happy clouds. Just makes me very happy. And even though I really like winter, I love winter, but I also really love spring when it's not that hot, but also it's not that hot, but nice, and the first warm sun rays like are there already. That's so nice. I'm gonna shade this cloud later on, so I can show you how I do that as well. The thing, oh, I did not wash properly. The thing you're seeing on her shirt, by the way, is called granulation, and it's made with a separating paint. This paint contains multiple pigments, and one of them is red and one of them is black, and the black has the property to separate from the red, and so it makes this nice effect. And when I started out with watercolors, I did not like granulating paints at all because I did not know how to use them, but I do enjoy that now. And see what this did. It's a funny effect, but I'm trying to blend it out a bit so it does not have that hard of an edge. Okay, so let's now shade or color these leaves. I'm going to mix my own green. That should be enough blue. Very carefully clean my brush so I don't ruin my yellow, which I already did because there's some blue paint splattered on it. Don't know when that happened, but it's okay. I really like light green tones. Also, did I mention I got a new phone? Because my old phone, like, have a bit of small talk. My old phone is 6 years old at this point, and it does strange things. Sometimes when my boss is trying to call me, it just does not. It just freezes. I cannot pick up the call, and I need to be able to take calls because I'm like on and off of work. I'm like on standby, and if they call me to tell me what to do next and when to come to the office so we reduce contacts and stuff, I need to be able to take calls. So yeah, I got a new phone after now 6 years, and I got it and it works, and I'm like, wow. And then I went, oh no, because I have one of those very old SIM cards that cannot be made smaller, and I had to order a new SIM card, and I'm waiting for that currently so I can use my new phone. And it's from Xiaomi. The Poco X3 was reduced in price, so I got it. And my wife got a new phone as well because she got hers, her old phone at the same time I got mine, and it's also about 6 years old now, and it falls apart as well, and she has ordered the same phone, and it's very nice, especially for the price. I'm very objected to pay like $600 for a phone, so I always get like cheap China phones, but they work pretty fine for me, at least. Like, I don't have that much of I don't have high expectations. If it can make photos and I can write with it, it's fine. I think I want to add a little shading to her eyeballs. Oh no, that was a bit too much paint. A bit too much water. Oh no, I'm making it worse. I'm making it worse. I'm gonna use this to gently tap off excess paint. Like this. It's like very small details, but they can make a huge difference in the appearance of your painting. So let's give her a little blushy. Alright, this down here is still a bit wet, so I think I'm going to continue and shade the clouds a bit. And I'm gonna add some blue to this mix. Just a tiny bit. So it gets a tiny bit more dark. Can you see? And then I'm gonna add some random shading. Like let the brush do the most of the work for me. Yeah, I think that's pretty nice. my opinion only. Is this dry enough? I think I'm too impatient to work to wait longer. So let's give it a try. Oh, yes. Okay. It's fine. It's working. Also, I'm keeping some white areas over here as well. That's the tricky thing about watercolors. You have to preserve your white areas. You can't just paint them on top like with other paints. So like acrylics or gouache or oils. Like you have to know where your white areas are or they are lost forever. I think that's what a lot of people find very difficult with watercolors, but watercolors are the medium I started out with, so I'm used to it by now. I mean, I started out with colored pencils really, but watercolors were the paints that I got into painting with, and I just recently started to work with gouache and all that magical stuff. I think I'm going to add some of this greenish yellow to make the green a little less uniform. So maybe a bit over here. Yeah, I think that looks fun, and I don't really want to add any shading to her because I really like this this look of the paint as it is right now. So I'm going to let that dry a bit and then peel off the paint and the paint, the tape, and that we're done for today. And I'm gonna come back to you when this is dry and then we're peeling off the tape together. So see you in a bit. Alright, I think this is dried enough now. I just got my gel pen to add some little tiny dots in her eyes as some light, and I think it's fairly dry now, so carefully removing this. You should always go for a very flat flat angle. I don't always do that, but it helps to not rip your paper. And this tape is not sticky really, so I'm not at that much risk of ruining everything. can always pull it away from your drawing so you don't accidentally grip the paper off from the edge and drag it in and drip from that side. So one last one like this. This is how you rip your paper, kids. Don't do that. Don't be like me. Alright. I think this turned out pretty cute. I will sign it now because I always forget that. Let's put it somewhere like here. I mostly sign my stuff to know which year I drew them in. So yeah, that's the painting we did today. And I really hope you can find use in some of the tips I shared with you, some of the advice, and create your own beautiful artwork. Yeah, I thank you very much for watching, and we see each other next time. And until we see each other, please do something that makes you happy. Bye!